People who own XRP Ripple are scared. All of this is happening because Coinbase, the biggest cryptocurrency company in the world, has been criticized. This might be the start of another case, and Coinbase could become the main target of people who have a lot of XRP. That's not really good news, is it? But experts aren't worrying. They think that XRP Ripple coin could go as high as $1,200.00 this month. Who do we think we can trust? What should we do now? Let's do it one step at a time. You will be amazed by this movie. Nota bene. It looks like Coinbase is being sued again, this time by the state of Oregon. Oregon's Attorney General Dan Rayfield has filed a new lawsuit against the cryptocurrency exchange. He says that it sold unregistered securities to Oregon residents and didn't properly screen high-risk assets to protect customers. Even though the SEC has been less aggressive in its enforcement of crypto rules, Oregon's lawsuit seems to pick up where the federal regulators left off, brings up old fights and fears in the business again. But the time isn't the only thing that stands out about this case. What's missing is that there is no mention of XRP, the cryptocurrency that was at the center of one of the biggest court wins in crypto history. Judge Annalisa Torres said in July 2023 that XRP is not always a security when it is sold to the public on platforms. This made the SEC's case against Ripple much weaker and gave the crypto community a lot of hope. People thought that decision would be a turning point in the law that could affect future cases like that one. However, that important ruling is not mentioned at all in the Oregon lawsuit against Coinbase. Paul Gruel, Coinbase's chief law officer, said it straight out. He said that the case was a copycat of other actions taken by the SEC and pointed to Section 9 of the complaint as the most obvious place where Judge Torres's decision was left out. Gruel didn't hold back when he talked about how the AG is trying to bring back a strategy called regulation by enforcement that the SEC is leaving behind. He says that the lawsuit even calls the previous head of the SEC a crypto lobbyist, while ignoring important court decisions that call their whole argument into question. This isn't just a mistake. It seems like it was done on purpose. The Oregon AG's office has ignored the XRP case, which means that one of the few times a court disagreed with the idea that all crypto assets are stocks has been erased. Because of that, real things happen. If other politicians and regulators do the same thing, the progress that was made in Ripple's case could be quietly undone. Already under a lot of pressure, Coinbase might have to make tough choices to protect itself, like taking XRP off the platform. Again, that would be very bad for the XRP economy. Ripple is trying to grow around the world, and being taken off of one of the biggest US markets would hurt its credibility at a time when it needs to build trust. XRP had just been added back to Coinbase after being taken off during the first case by the SEC. Having it pulled again would not only be annoying for everyone, but it would also be a sign of a bigger problem. It's one where legal wins don't seem to matter if officials choose to ignore them. It's almost too ironic. Ripple fought and won a long legal battle to make XRP's status clear, but now people at the state level are acting like the decision never happened. In what way does it hurt the rule of law if court decisions can be easily left out of legal complaints? And what message does it send to other projects that are trying to get through this regulation environment that is already tough? It's clear that Coinbase wants to get even. As Gruel put it, the business is sure that it is following the rules and the facts, but the question is still there. Will it keep XRP in the crosshairs or stop backing a token that regulators are set on seeing as a threat, no matter what the courts say? The people who use XRP have every reason to be worried, but they also have every reason to stand firm. Ripple's win is still important. It only needs to be kept in mind and protected. Things take a strange turn here, though. That's because crypto experts aren't freaking out. Even though the news is full of cases and trouble, a lot of people think this storm is just the start of something much bigger for XRP. They don't see danger, they see chance. Do not believe what they say about XRP's future. You are not ready for it. You will not believe what they are saying at all. So, crypto analyst Ammonix just tweeted, and then there's Levy, whose words have gone viral. You could be the first person in your group to become a multimillionaire, and XRP could help you get there. Take it, trust it. It sounds wild and maybe even crazy, but there's a reason for all the chaos when you look closer. Some people think that XRP is getting lucky in ways that we have never seen before. A main reason? Changes in the world's finances. As interest rates start to drop and talk of lowering rates heats up, assets like XRP are getting more attention. There will be big changes. Rate cuts are coming soon, and XRP could see a big rise, XRP Pulse tweeted, pointing to what could be a huge influx of cash into the crypto space. Comparisons to the past don't always tell us what will happen in the future, but they do give us hope. Steph, who is also part of the XRP group, brought up an important point that can't be ignored. In 2014, Bitcoin was worth $1,200.00, up from $2.00 in 2012. Why doesn't XRP do the same thing? That is a strong question. And that brings us to what might be the bravest statement of all. Remy Relief, a well-known figure in the XRP community, recently made headlines when he said XRP could hit $1,200.00 before the end of the year. At first look, that seems crazy, especially since XRP is still close to $2.00. If they reached that goal, the price would go up by an amazing 56,000%. But Relief's case isn't just about market hype. It's also about world infrastructure. He talks about SWIFT, which is the international financial messaging system. It moves about $5 trillion, 0 cents, every day, or $1.25 quadrillion every year. If XRP can get even a small share of that amount through RippleNet, or its integration with digital currency systems used by central banks, it could have a huge impact on its value. A company Relief even says this could happen without the help of ETFs, swaps, or tokenization platforms. But that makes me wonder, what would happen if those money tools got involved? Now, let's take a moment to talk about what an ETF is. A traditional stock market trades in ETF, which is like a group of assets. It's a simple, low-risk way for regular investors and large institutions to gain exposure to an asset without buying or keeping it themselves. For Bitcoin, an ETF gives it credibility. It shows that regulators and people who work in traditional banking are ready to use this technology in a more official way. Some say that XRP is still sleeping in building speed in the background, while everyone else fights over who is right and who is wrong. What people who are paying attention see, though, is something else. A storm is building up on the horizon. For those who are holding out, this could be the chance they've been waiting for to break out. We now know Ripple isn't just staying alive. With its cutting-edge technology, it's getting ready to take over the world's banking system. Some people were having doubts, but Ripple was growing. The most recent partnerships, they are more than just amazing. They send a huge positive signal. Even reviewers who are very harsh are surprised by these moves. You will not believe what Ripple is doing right now. While doubters keep looking at short-term price charts, something much bigger is going on behind the scenes. It's not just another cryptocurrency trying to make it through the bear market. It is being built into the very core of the financial systems of the next generation. This story about world adoption is no longer just hype. John Squire wrote on Twitter that India had just finished its first deal to buy crude oil from the UAE using local currencies.